Hello there, Angry Welshman back again. This will only be a quick one, seeing that Level Earth Observer actually had a go at me. This one, I think at this point used a sound clip from my video, even though my video wasn't this bad a quality. Geez, his video quality makes mine look like 8K. But he actually said when I swore in this bit, and I'm going to try and not swear too much in videos, otherwise my channel's not going to grow if I keep on doing that. And I think it's better for me if I do stop swearing as much as I can. But like I said, if I do swear, I'll give a little sort of warnings before. And I'm going to give a swear just a second now. Is that in this video he chooses that sound clip where I state that no one gives a fuck what you think, right? And he's like, well, I think you do. Well, what I meant by that is that no one gives a on what you call it, right? What I meant by that is that science doesn't really care what you think. Science works whether you like it or not. And this video, right, that you've chosen to take this from, this video was answering your question on what NASA does with that massive budget of theirs and what they do. And this video answered that question with plenty of detail about, wages for this staff and what they're developing, what they're inventing, what they're going through with other companies, blah, blah, blah. But then again, you've just ignored that and moved on, as you always do, right? So this has nothing to do with what you're claiming now. Let's just start this video off here.
For globe evidence in the form of giving a demonstration of a tower crane dead still on a spinning ball.
I'm not really quite sure how you expect anyone to do that, especially in the sense that, what, we're going to build a life-size replica of the Earth and put a tower crane on it and then spin it. Is that what you want us to do? But hey, and again, this is like most flat earthers. You ask questions for experiments that you want globies to do, right, that you know full well are impossible to do, but you do them anyway. Now, this is impossible to actually do, but it's very easy to explain, right? Now, I know for a fact that I don't think you know very much. I'm not going to say that you outright don't, but I'm just saying, judging by your videos, right, because we've been over this, that your crane experiments don't prove anything. They just don't, right, because you misunderstand the science in question and you also misrepresent. Now, I'm still waiting for evidence on you because you claim that the mass attracts mass experiment is all fake, that he's talking rubbish just because your crane doesn't demonstrate any changes. But we've been over the sort of, the scale of this, right? And I'm still waiting on evidence from you that every video you seem to make of footage from space is CGI and from ISS, right? I'm still waiting on proof from you that that's all CGI and fake, which we're yet to get. Not even close, right? And the simple fact of the matter is this, right? In terms of your crane in terms of relative size of the Earth, right, is like putting a grain of sand that's 100 times smaller on one of those large exercise balls. So you're talking about putting a grain that's 1/100th of the size of a grain of sand, or let's say a grain of sugar, and pop that on those giant exercise balls. That's the scales of stuff we're talking about here, right? Now, if you want something sort of scientific to be done with this, it's called Newton's law of inertia. You know, that Freemason that everybody likes to hate on? You know what I mean? Basically an object will remain at rest unless, acted upon by an external force. Now, in terms of the Earth, we are at rest, because in terms we are at this present minute we are moving along with the Earth, right? So to put that into your crane is only going to show any signs of movement, right, if the actual Earth accelerated. accelerate. Basically, we don't feel speed, right? We don't feel motion per se. We feel acceleration. So, like, and this video will demonstrate it in a second. It's like if you're traveling, let's say, on even one of the bullet trains that go like, the newfangled ones in Japan, that travel about 200 and something miles an hour. Oh hell, even on a plane, on a jet plane, right? Even on a plane where it's traveling 500 miles an hour, okay? You can chuck a ball, like a small ball, in the air by it'll go up by like a foot or two and it'll land back in your hand. But by sometimes flat earthers' logic, that ball should be heading straight back. Well, no. And here's the experiment, and I will link this in the bottom for you, but this experiment shows what I mean. There is no music or anything with this. So test 1, it's all about speed and everything like that. 6.71 meters per second, 50 miles an hour. See? He threw the ball, he threw it up. Now all he did was throw it up, but because it was travelling with the pickup truck, it's still actually moving forward. I do actually like this video as well, so I want to give that a quick bit of a like. Except let's just focus on the path of the ball. So to us now, see, that's doing like an arc shape, parabolic arc. Now the cool bit is, I think, when he focuses on the ball relative to the thrower. See, it's still moving, hasn't launched back or anything like that, and you get the same sort of thing. See, keeps on going, but obviously because he has to challenge with the air. He's got the air to deal with, so friction and many other sort of aspects. So let's just go. This is an interesting one as well. Okay, I'll play a quick video here.
Imagine you are sitting in a moving train. You toss a ball into the air and catch it. To you, the ball went straight up and down. But to an observer on the ground, the ball followed a parabolic path as the train went past. This is because when the ball leaves your hand, it still has all of the forward velocity that the train does. But if you are inside the inertial reference frame of the train is not moving at all. It is the surroundings that are moving. So the ball no longer has any horizontal velocity, only the vertical velocity you impart to it by moving your arm to throw the ball. Assigning frames of reference and understanding what they mean for the motion of objects is a big part of physics. And although...
Right, so that's just sort of simple on that. Right, so basically we are currently at motion with the Earth. So the only time we will ever feel anything is essentially if the Earth accelerates, to which point then we probably all die. You know what I mean? So, and the only thing that Earth's rotation seems to affect is the air and our atmosphere in terms of the Coriolis effect and many other aspects like that. With weather patterns, there's a reason why weather patterns like hurricanes and things spin one direction in the southern hemisphere and actually spin the other direction in the northern hemisphere. Don't listen to the people that do that sink drain experiment, because that's a faff, that is. That's a load of lies to get people money, whatever. But you know what I mean, it's all about relative motion. So basically, we don't feel like we're moving, and people watching the Earth spin will show we're moving. Now, in terms of Earth's motion, yes, a lot of flat earthers like to essentially, sorry I'm talking a bit quiet here, but it's a bit late. Basically, a lot of flat earthers like to think, oh yeah, we should feel 1,000 miles an hour. Yes, but in terms of the scale of the planet, it takes 4 minutes for the Earth to rotate like 1 degree. Right? it only rotates 15 degrees per hour, right? And that's the thing. The Earth doesn't move as fast as you think. But again, like I said, your crane thing can be easily explained. So basically, when you accelerate and you hold like a ball in your palm, that ball will shoot off to the back of the car, wouldn't it? And or if you brake, it'll shoot off to the front, right? But if you're just travelling along at a set pace and you chuck the ball up and down in your hand, it's not going to go backwards or forwards, is it? So there we are. So it's a simple explanation, and this is simple sort of physics. And there's this is an aspect, Leo, right? This is an aspect of science that you can easily find out yourself, but you just don't seem to want to. You're quite happily to like bathe in your own ignorance and arrogance, more like, to think that your crane experiments actually prove anything, but they don't. Right, that's it. That's me done. Hope to see you all again. Keep safe. Have a nice evening.